Toastmasters online, in person, and guests, thank you very much. My name is Sean Edwards. I'm a fire captain with CAL FIRE, and today I'm going to talk to you about home hardening in defensible space. So last time we spoke regarding this topic of home hardening in defensible space, I took us through a journey of understanding the firefighter's mindset using our mnemonic SFACS, which is survivability. Is this environment actually survivable for us? The fire environment, the access to that home, the construction of that home, the time that it takes for us to all put this together, and then depending on that, do we stay or go? We also discussed laws, including the Public Resource Code 4291 and the structure triage of your home itself. So is the home non-threatened, threatened defensible, or threatened non-defensible? So after reviewing some of the feedback, I realized that I think we need to really dive into what it means to have an actual defensible home. So I'm going to utilize some materials that I will hand out at the end of the presentation, and that is really a breakdown of zones for the home. So there is basically 3 zones that we really look at. That first zone is the ember zone. So that's the zone 0 to 5 feet away from your home. We really need to concentrate on making our home defensible in and of it by itself. So this is the ember resistant zone. So think about embers. There's been a lot of wildland fires that I've been on, unfortunately, where ember casts have come from the main body of the fire, cast over, and then possibly landed in somebody's gutters. Maybe those gutters were filled with pine needles. Maybe those gutters should have had screens on them to provide a defensible space for itself in the beginning. Also think about the construction of your roof. Is it wood shaking? Is it tiles? Is it concrete? Think about that and what you can do for your home just in and of it by itself. Think about double pane windows or triple pane windows. Do you just have windows that are just single pane, very flammable curtains on the other side? Or can we maybe potentially upgrade our home to have a more defensible space just with the windows itself, hardening that home? And then ventilation. The ventilation screens, maybe in the subflooring or in the attics, there's mesh screen on there. At most, there should be a 1/8 inch separation in those screens. Because again, think about ember casts, right? This ember resistant zone of our home, ember casts can maybe land in our gutters, but also go through those vents as well. So we really want to make sure that our home by itself can defend itself. Flammable materials, anything around. Now, aesthetically pleasing vegetation around the home can be fine. I'm not talking about pruned rose bushes or hydrangeas or any of the plants that I like and have around my home. I'm talking about dead vegetation. That also includes wood piles, anything flammable right there in that 0 to 5 feet away from your home. You need to think of yourself not even being there during an emergency. Have I set up my home enough to where it can defend itself without me even being there? So from zone 0 we go to zone 1, and that's really that 5 to 30 feet away from your home. Okay? This is the zone that we like to call lean, clean, and green zone. So removing all dead fuels and pine needles. So think of your home maybe in the wildland, actual wilderness. If I had a cabin in the wilderness, I would really want to clear all the vegetation down to bare mineral soil around 30 feet from my home. Well, most of us live in an urban environment, and that's not really realistic. Quarter-acre lots, vegetation, driveways, and all that stuff. So just think about those flammable materials directly in that line. Quarter-acre lot, well, 30 feet away, it might be my neighbor's fence or my neighbor's house. I understand that, but just trying to think about what is flammable. And also take yourself away from a wildland fire. It might not necessarily be a wildland fire. It might be a structure fire. Maybe your home catches fire, and then is there something that fire can extend to, vegetation or trash or clutter or what have you, next to your home that could then spread to your neighbor's home? Or conversely, your neighbor's home catching fire, what do you have next to your home that could potentially spread that fire? Then also think about tree canopies, because some of us do actually have some decent sized acreage or lots on our property. Maybe we have tree canopies. Well, if you have a whole grove of trees and those canopies are connected to each other, fire could potentially get up there and then grow, and next thing you know, it's on your house. So having separation of canopy. Also, a big thing in that particular zone is keeping vegetation 10 feet away from your chimney, right? We don't want any trees, whether it be dead, certainly not, but even live tree trimmings or branches of the like, we want those away from your chimney. So then that brings me to zone 2, which is that 30 to 100 feet away from your home. Again, you're thinking, well, I live in an urban environment, quarter-acre lot, I don't have 100 feet away. 100 feet away is, 2 neighbors down. I get it, but maybe you don't. Maybe you have a big property. Or maybe you have a property that's acres and acres large to where, well, I can clear 100 feet, but when you're getting into that large acreage, then you need to consider doing an actual fire break completely around the perimeter of your home. Because again, it's not so much a wildland fire, maybe it's a structure fire, or maybe your home catches fire and then it burns up to that fuel break at your property line and then it won't encroach on your neighbor's property. Okay, we really have to kind of have an empathetic look to this. It's not just about me and my home, it's about other people's homes, what do they have going on, and whatnot. And then outbuildings. So you think about outbuildings, well, when we actually give reports of structures lost, structures are anything greater than a 10 by 10, so 100 foot. So you could have a 10 by 10 foot outbuilding and that could be potentially burned. So we need to also protect those. So that needs to be 10 feet down to bare mineral soil if possible, or non-flammable material like concrete. But propane tanks. Now I'm sure a lot of us are on natural gas, so propane tanks aren't a thing for us, but if you are on propane, that needs to absolutely be cleared 10 feet around. I know a lot of us like to kind of put up fencing or wood siding or something to kind of hide the propane tank. It's not good. It's flammable. So just think about that, okay? So for those of us online or in person, I am going to give the people in person some handouts, but online you can go to readyforwildfire.org. is a great resource to find all this. That's readyforwildfire.org. Another fantastic website is fire.ca.gov/ the letter D space. So fire.ca.gov/ D space. / D space. So, and if you have any questions, you can always feel free to contact me by email, through EasySpeak, or what have you. So I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Thank you. Madam Toscano.